Manchester United vs Sunderland, a new era taking shape at Old Trafford. Welcome back to United Daily Updates, your trusted source for everything Manchester United. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel where we break down every match, every signing, and every tactical move that matters to our beloved club. We keep it real, we keep it honest, and most importantly, we keep you informed about what's really happening at Old Trafford. The hook: more than just 3 points. What happens when a new goalkeeper makes his debut, a big money striker starts finding his rhythm, and a manager begins to stamp his identity on one of the biggest clubs in world football? You get more than just a football match. You get a statement. You get a glimpse into the future. You get hope. That's exactly what we witnessed when Manchester United faced Sunderland. On paper, it might look like just another game, another 3 points in the bag. But if you watched closely, if you paid attention to the small details, you would have seen something much bigger unfolding. This wasn't just about winning. This was about building something special. Introduction: setting the scene. Let me take you back to that match day. The atmosphere at Old Trafford was electric, as it always is when United play at home. But there was something different in the air. Fans arrived at the stadium with questions on their minds. Would the new goalkeeper be good enough? Can the big signing from Europe really handle the Premier League? Is the manager's style going to work with these players? By the time the final whistle blew, many of those questions had answers. And the answers were promising. Manchester United has been through a lot in recent years. We've seen managers come and go. We've watched expensive signings fail to live up to their price tags. We've endured frustration, disappointment, and moments where it felt like the club had lost its way. But every now and then, a match comes along that makes you sit up and think, maybe, just maybe, things are starting to click. The game against Sunderland was one of those matches. In this blog post, we're going to break down everything that happened. We'll talk about the goalkeeper who announced himself to the Premier League. We'll discuss the striker who is slowly but surely adapting to English football. And we'll analyze what the manager is building and why there's genuine reason for optimism. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive deep into what this match really meant for Manchester United. Part 1. The goalkeeper story. Lammens takes center stage. Who is Lammens? Before we talk about what happened on the pitch, let's understand who we're dealing with. Lammens is a Belgian goalkeeper who arrived at Manchester United with relatively little fanfare compared to some of the club's other signings. He wasn't a household name. He didn't come with a massive transfer fee that breaks the internet. But sometimes, the best signings are the ones that fly under the radar. Lammens spent time developing his game in Belgium, where he learned the fundamentals of goalkeeping. He worked on his positioning, his shot stopping, his distribution, and most importantly, his mental strength. Being a goalkeeper is perhaps the loneliest position on the football pitch. You can have a perfect game for 89 minutes, but one mistake in the 90th minute and you're the villain. It takes a special kind of mentality to handle that pressure. When United signed him, many fans asked the same question: is he ready for the Premier League? The debut that answered questions. From the first whistle, Lammens looked comfortable. And I don't mean just okay or decent. I mean genuinely composed, like he had been playing in the Premier League for years rather than making his debut. Sunderland came to Old Trafford with a game plan. They weren't going to just sit back and defend for 90 minutes. They wanted to attack, to test this new goalkeeper, to see if he could handle the pressure. And test him they did. In the 12th minute, Sunderland broke through United's midfield and created a one-on-one chance. Their striker was clean through, just him and Lammens. This is the moment that defines goalkeepers. This is where reputations are built or destroyed. Lammens didn't panic. He didn't rush out recklessly. He held his position, made himself big, and when the striker took his shot, Lammens was there to parry it away to safety. The crowd erupted. That one save seemed to settle everyone's nerves. If the goalkeeper was calm, the team could be calm. The saves that proved his worth. But Lammens wasn't done. Throughout the match, he was called upon time and time again, and each time he answered. In the 34th minute, Sunderland whipped in a dangerous cross from the left wing. Bodies were flying everywhere in the box. The ball was flicked on at the near post, heading towards the far corner. Most goalkeepers would have been caught out of position. But Lammens had read the play. He adjusted his feet, dived full stretch, and somehow got a strong hand to push the ball over the bar. It was the kind of save that makes you jump out of your seat. Then came the corner. Sunderland packed the box with tall players, looking to use their height advantage. The ball came in with pace, and a Sunderland player got his head to it. The header was powerful and directed towards the bottom corner. Once again, Lammens was equal to it. He got down low and held onto the ball firmly, not giving away any rebounds. What impressed me most wasn't just the saves themselves. It was how he commanded his area. Goalkeepers need to be vocal. They need to organize the defense, tell players where to position themselves, when to push up, when to drop deep. Lammens did all of this. You could see him constantly communicating with his defenders, pointing, shouting instructions, making sure everyone knew their jobs. Distribution and modern goalkeeping. Here's something that often gets overlooked when we talk about goalkeepers. In modern football, especially under managers who like to play out from the back, goalkeepers need to be good with their feet. They need to be able to pass accurately under pressure. They need to act almost like an extra outfield player. Lammens showed he has this quality too. Several times during the match, Sunderland pressed high, trying to force United into making mistakes. Lammens stayed calm. He would take a touch, look up, and play a measured pass to a defender or even spray it out wide to a fullback. His distribution was clean and purposeful. He didn't just boot the ball long and hope for the best. He played intelligent passes that helped United maintain possession and build attacks. One moment stood out in particular. United were under pressure in their own half. Sunderland had committed players forward, looking to win the ball back quickly. Lammens received a back pass from his centre-back. 3 Sunderland players rushed towards him. Most goalkeepers would have panicked and kicked it long. Lammens took a touch, moved the ball to his right foot, and played a perfectly weighted pass into midfield that bypassed the press completely. United went from defence to attack in seconds, all because the goalkeeper kept his cool. What this means for United's future. So why am I spending so much time talking about one goalkeeper performance? Because goalkeepers set the tone for the entire team. When your goalkeeper is confident, your defenders are confident. When your defenders are confident, your midfielders can focus on their jobs instead of worrying about what's happening behind them. It's a chain reaction. United have struggled with the goalkeeping position in recent years. There have been question marks, doubts, moments where fans held their breath every time the opposition attacked. Having a goalkeeper you can trust changes everything. Lammens showed in this match that he might be the answer United have been looking for. He showed maturity beyond his years. He showed technical ability. He showed mental strength. And perhaps most importantly, he showed that he belongs at this level. Will he make mistakes in the future? Probably. All goalkeepers do. But if he can maintain the level of performance he showed against Sunderland, United have found themselves a real asset. The kind of goalkeeper you can build a defence around. The kind of goalkeeper who wins you points when you're not playing well. The kind of goalkeeper who becomes a fan favourite not through flashy saves, but through consistent, reliable performances. Part 2, Benjamin Sesko and the Premier League journey. The weight of expectations. Let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. The Slovenian striker arrived at Manchester United with a big reputation and an even bigger price tag. When you sign for Manchester United, the pressure is immense. The media watches your every move. Fans expect instant results. Social media can be brutal if you have one bad game. For a young striker moving to a new country, adapting to a new style of football, learning to play with new teammates, that pressure can be overwhelming. Some players crumble under it. Others take time to find their feet. And a special few embrace it and use it to push themselves to greater heights. Sesko is in that adaptation phase right now. And what we saw against Sunderland was clear evidence that he's moving in the right direction. Understanding the Premier League challenge. Before we judge any player who comes to the Premier League from another country, we need to understand what makes this league so difficult. The Premier League is fast. I mean really fast. The ball moves quickly, players move quickly, and there's no time to take an extra touch or think about what you're going to do. You need to process information and make decisions in split seconds. The Premier League is also physical. Defenders are allowed to be more aggressive here than in many other leagues. They'll push you, hold you, challenge you for every ball. If you're not physically ready, you'll get bullied off the pitch. And perhaps most challenging of all, the Premier League is relentless. There are no easy games. Even teams at the bottom of the table will fight for every point. You play twice a week most of the season. There's no time to rest, no time to feel sorry for yourself if you have a bad game. You need to recover quickly and go again. This is what Sesko has been dealing with since he arrived. And it takes time to adjust. The growth we're seeing. Against Sunderland, we saw signs of real progress. Sesko didn't score, but his performance was about so much more than goals. Let me explain what I saw. First, his movement. In his early games for United, Sesko sometimes looked static. He would wait for the ball to come to him. But against Sunderland, he was constantly on the move. He would make runs in behind the defence, forcing defenders to track him. He would drop deep to collect the ball and link play. He would drift wide to create space for teammates. This kind of intelligent movement is exactly what top strikers do. There was one moment in the first half that really caught my eye. United had the ball on the left wing. Sesko was central, marked by two centre-backs. Instead of staying where he was, he made a quick run to the left, dragging one defender with him. This created a gap in the middle of the defence. United's midfielder saw the space and made a run into it. The pass came, the shot followed, and United nearly scored. That goal didn't happen, but it was created by Sesko's movement and football intelligence. Second, his physical presence. The Premier League demands physical strikers who can hold the ball up, shield it from defenders, and bring teammates into play. Sesko is a big guy, and he's learning how to use his body effectively. Against Sunderland, there were several occasions where he received the ball with his back to goal, a defender pushing into him, trying to win it back. Sesko held firm. He used his strength to protect the ball, waited for support to arrive, and then made the right pass. This might not look spectacular, but it's incredibly important for how the team plays. Third, his link-up play. Modern strikers can't just be goal scorers. They need to be part of the team's overall play. They need to combine with wingers, find midfielders with passes, create chances for others. Sesko did all of this against Sunderland. He played neat 1-2s with teammates. He laid the ball off and made runs to receive it back. He brought others into the game with his passing. The moments that showed promise. Let me describe a few specific moments that made me think this guy is going to be special for United. In the 28th minute, United won the ball in midfield. They broke forward quickly. Sesko was running through the middle, but he could see the defense was organized and compact. Instead of calling for the ball and running into traffic, he checked his run, creating space. The ball went wide instead. The winger drove forward. And because Sesko had created space in the middle, the winger had options. This is smart striker play. In the 55th minute, Sesko received a pass on the edge of the box. He had a defender tight on his back. Most strikers in this position would either try to turn and shoot, or just pass it back. Sesko did something different. He took one touch to control, then used his body to shield the ball while he scanned the area. He spotted a teammate making a run on the opposite side. He played a perfectly weighted pass across the box. The teammate shot, the goalkeeper saved, but it was a dangerous chance created by Sesko's awareness and technical ability. And then there was the 72nd minute. Sesko chased what looked like a lost cause. The ball was going out for a goal kick. Most strikers would have let it go. Sesko sprinted at full speed, got to the ball just before it crossed the line, and somehow managed to keep it in play and win a corner. It was pure effort and determination. The fans loved it because it showed he cares, he's willing to work hard, and he won't give up on any ball. Why goals will come. I know what some people are thinking. But he didn't score. Why are you praising a striker who didn't score? Here's the thing about strikers. When they're doing all the right things, when their movement is good, when they're getting into the right positions, when they're combining well with teammates, the goals will come. It's just a matter of time. Sesko is getting into goal-scoring positions. Against Sunderland, he had two good chances. One was blocked by a defender making a last-ditch tackle. The other was saved by the goalkeeper. On another day, with a bit more luck, he scores both. And once that first goal goes in, once that confidence boost arrives, the floodgates often open. What matters is that the fundamentals are there. And they are. Sesko is adapting to the Premier League. He's learning what works and what doesn't. He's building relationships with his teammates. He's understanding the manager's system. All of this takes time, but we're seeing clear progress. The patience factor. United fans need to be patient with Sesko. I know patience is hard when you're used to seeing the best players in the world at your club. But remember, even the greatest strikers needed time to adapt when they moved to the Premier League. Think about some of the legendary strikers who played for United or other top clubs. Many of them didn't set the world on fire in their first few months. They needed time to settle, to learn the language, to understand how their teammates play, to get used to the pace and physicality of English football. Sesko is on that journey right now. And based on what we saw against Sunderland, he's on the right path. Keep supporting him. Keep believing in him. Because when everything clicks, when he's fully adapted, United will have a top-class striker leading their attack. Part 3, Ruben Amorim's vision taking shape. The manager who brings hope. Now let's talk about the man on the sideline. Ruben Amorim. The Portuguese manager who has come to Manchester United with a reputation for developing young players, playing attractive football, and building teams that are greater than the sum of their parts. Managing Manchester United is one of the biggest jobs in world football. The pressure is constant. The expectations are sky high. The media scrutiny is intense. Every decision you make is analyzed, criticized, debated. It's not for the faint-hearted. But Amorim seems to have the personality and the tactical knowledge to handle it. And what we saw against Sunderland was his philosophy being put into action on the pitch. The tactical setup. Let's break down what Amorim is trying to do with this United team. His style is based on a few key principles. First, controlled pressing. United weren't just chasing the ball randomly. They pressed in an organized way. When Sunderland had the ball in certain areas of the pitch, United would trigger their press. Multiple players would close down the opponent at once, trying to win the ball back quickly and high up the pitch. But when Sunderland passed out of the press, United would drop back into their defensive shape rather than continue chasing and leaving spaces behind. This kind of pressing requires intelligence and discipline. Every player needs to know when to press and when to hold position. If one player presses at the wrong time, it breaks the whole system. Against Sunderland, United's pressing looked coordinated. It looked coached. It looked like something they've been working on in training. Second, structured build-up play. When United had the ball, they didn't just kick it long and hope. They tried to build from the back, pass through Sunderland's press, and create openings through patient possession. We saw the goalkeeper playing to defenders, defenders playing to midfielders, midfielders finding forwards. It was systematic and purposeful. Sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes Sunderland won the ball back and created danger. But the important thing is that United were trying to play a certain way. They had a plan. And when the plan worked, they created good chances. Third, fluidity in attack. Amorim doesn't want his forwards to stay in fixed positions. He wants them to move, to interchange, to confuse defenders. Against Sunderland, we saw Sesko dropping deep, which allowed a midfielder to run beyond him. We saw wingers cutting inside, which created space for fullbacks to overlap. This kind of fluid attack is difficult to defend against because defenders don't know who to mark. Trust in young players. One thing that stands out about Amorim is his willingness to trust young players. He's not afraid to give opportunities to players who haven't proven themselves yet. And this match against Sunderland was a perfect example. Giving Lammens his debut was a big call. Amorim could have gone with a more experienced goalkeeper. But he believed in the young Belgian, and that belief was rewarded. This sends a message to all the young players at United. If you work hard, if you show quality in training, you will get your chance. The same applies to how he's handling Sesko. Amorim is being patient with the striker. He's not dropping him after 1 or 2 games without goals. He's giving him time to adapt, to learn, to grow. This patience is crucial for young players' development. The defensive organization. While everyone talks about attacking football, good managers know that defense wins championships. And Amorim clearly understands this. Against Sunderland, United's defensive shape was solid. When they didn't have the ball, players dropped into position quickly. The gaps between defenders were small. Midfielders tracked back to help. Everyone understood their defensive responsibilities. There were moments when Sunderland broke through and created chances. But even then, United had players getting back to make tackles, block shots, and clear crosses. This kind of collective defending comes from good coaching and players buying into the system. One thing I particularly liked was how United defended set pieces. Everyone knew who they were marking. The goalkeeper commanded his area. Players attacked the ball aggressively. There was no confusion, no hesitation. Set pieces are often where teams concede soft goals, but United looked well drilled. The substitutions that made sense. A manager's ability to read the game and make good substitutions is crucial. Amorim showed good game management against Sunderland. When United were in control but not creating enough clear chances, he made attacking changes. He brought on fresh legs to inject energy into the team. When United needed to protect their lead late in the game, he brought on a more defensive player to help see out the match. These might sound like obvious decisions, but you'd be surprised how many managers get substitutions wrong. They change too early or too late. They take off the wrong player. They don't read what the game needs. Amorim's substitutions were timely and logical. Communication and body language. Watch Amorim on the sideline and you'll notice something important. He's animated but not crazy. He's passionate but not out of control. He communicates constantly with his players, giving instructions, encouragement, tactical adjustments. His body language sends a message. When United did something good, he showed approval. When they made a mistake, he didn't lose his mind. He stayed calm and focused on the next play. This kind of demeanor is important because players feed off their manager's energy. If a manager is panicking, players panic. If a manager is calm and confident, players feel calm and confident. Amorim seems to understand this psychology. Building relationships. One thing that often gets overlooked is the importance of relationships in football. A manager needs to build trust with his players. They need to believe in him, respect him, and want to work for him. From what we can see, Amorim is building those relationships at United. Players seem to be responding to his coaching. They're working hard for him. They're buying into his philosophy. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens when a manager treats players with respect, communicates clearly, and shows them that he has a plan to make them better. The long-term project. Perhaps the most encouraging thing about Amorim is that he seems committed to building something long-term at Manchester United. He's not looking for quick fixes or short-term results. He's thinking about how to develop young players, how to create a playing style that can be sustained over years, how to build a team culture that will last. This is exactly what United need. The club has spent too many years chopping and changing managers, each one bringing a different philosophy, different players, different ideas. There's been no consistency, no clear direction. Amorim represents a chance to change that. If he's given time, if he's supported properly, if the club commits to his vision, United could build something special. Not overnight, but gradually, steadily, with a clear plan. What the Sunderland match showed. The match against Sunderland was a snapshot of where United are in this process. They're not the finished article yet. There are still issues to work on, weaknesses to address, improvements to make. But the foundations are being laid. You can see a clear playing style emerging. You can see players understanding their roles. You can see young talents being developed. You can see a manager with a plan and the ability to implement it. Rome wasn't built in a day. Manchester United won't be transformed overnight. But if this match is anything to go by, Amorim is taking the club in the right direction. Part 4. What this match means for the season. Reading the bigger picture. Okay, so we've analysed the goalkeeper, the striker, and the manager individually. But let's step back and look at the bigger picture. What does this match against Sunderland tell us about Manchester United's season as a whole? First, it tells us that United are building momentum. Early in the season, results were mixed. There were good performances and bad performances. Wins and losses. Moments of promise and moments of frustration. But lately, things seem to be coming together. Players are understanding the system better. The team is looking more cohesive. Results are improving. The Sunderland match was another step forward in this progression. It wasn't perfect, but it was solid. It was controlled. It was professional. These are the kinds of performances that build confidence and create momentum. The importance of clean sheets. One statistic that often predicts success is clean sheets. Teams that keep clean sheets regularly tend to finish high in the table. Why? Because if you're not conceding goals, you only need to score one to win. Lammens' performance against Sunderland, assuming United kept a clean sheet, is significant. It shows that the defense is getting more solid. It shows that the goalkeeper can be relied upon. It shows that United can control games defensively. If United can build on this and start keeping clean sheets consistently, they'll be in a much stronger position to challenge for the top 4 and maybe even push for trophies. The goals will come. On the attacking side, there's no need to panic. Yes, goals haven't been flowing freely. Yes, Sesko is still finding his feet. Yes, there are moments when United struggle to break down deep defenses. But this will improve. As Sesko settles in, as the attacking players develop better understanding with each other, as Amorim's system becomes more embedded, the goals will come more freely. It's a process, and patience is required. What's encouraging is that United are creating chances. Against Sunderland, they had several good opportunities. On another day, they score 3 or 4. The underlying performance is good, which suggests the results will follow. Squad depth and rotation. One challenge for United this season is managing the fixture schedule. Between the Premier League, cup competitions, and possibly European football, there are a lot of games to play. Squad depth becomes crucial. The good news is that Amorim seems willing to rotate and give opportunities to different players. This keeps everyone fresh and motivated. It also means that if there's an injury or suspension, there are quality players ready to step in. The Sunderland match was a chance for some players to prove themselves, and they took it. This competition for places is healthy and will push everyone to perform at their best. The psychological boost. Never underestimate the importance of confidence in football. When players feel good about themselves, when they believe they can win, they perform better. Simple as that. Performances like the one against Sunderland build confidence. Lammens will feel more confident going into his next match. Sesko will feel more settled. The whole team will feel like they're moving in the right direction. This psychological boost can be the difference between a good season and a great season. If United can string together a few more solid performances, the belief will grow, and the results will come. Comparisons to other top teams. Let's be honest about where United stand right now. They're not at the level of Manchester City or Liverpool yet. Those teams have been building their systems for years under stable management. They have world-class players in every position. They're well-oiled machines. But United are on a journey. They're building something. And if we look at how other top teams developed, it took time. Liverpool weren't amazing in Jurgen Klopp's first season. Manchester City took a year to fully implement Pep Guardiola's system. These things don't happen instantly. The Sunderland match showed that United are making progress. They're not where they want to be yet, but they're moving in the right direction. And that's all you can ask for at this stage. The top 4 race. Realistically, United's goal this season should be to finish in the top 4 and qualify for the Champions League. That's not being negative, it's being realistic based on where the team is right now. The top 4 race is always competitive. There are multiple teams fighting for those spots. Every win matters. Every point matters. Performances like the one against Sunderland are exactly what United need to accumulate those points. If United can be consistent, if they can beat the teams they're supposed to beat, if they can pick up points against the top teams, a top 4 finish is very achievable. And once they're back in the Champions League, they can attract better players and push on to challenge for titles. Cup competitions as opportunities. While the league is important, cup competitions offer chances for silverware. Winning a trophy, any trophy, would be huge for this United team. It would validate Amorim's work. It would give players confidence. It would make fans believe. The FA Cup, the League Cup, these are winnable competitions if United hit form at the right time. And performances like the one against Sunderland suggest they're capable of beating anyone on their day. Amorim should take these competitions seriously. Use the squad depth, give opportunities to fringe players, but always field strong enough teams to progress. A cup run could be the making of this season. Part 5. The fan perspective. What United fans are thinking. Let's talk about what really matters. The fans. Because at the end of the day, football clubs exist for their supporters. And Manchester United fans have been through a lot in recent years. They've seen their club dominated English football under Sir Alex Ferguson. They've watched rivals win trophies while United struggled. They've endured false dawns, disappointing signings, managerial changes, and countless moments of frustration. So when a match like this comes along, when there are genuine reasons for optimism, it means something. It gives hope. And hope is what keeps fans coming back week after week, season after season. The debate about patience. There's always a debate among fans about how much patience to show. Some fans want instant success. They point to the club's history and say United should be winning titles, not rebuilding. They get frustrated when things don't happen immediately. Other fans are more patient. They understand that building a successful team takes time. They're willing to give the manager and players space to develop. They focus on progress rather than immediate results. Both perspectives are valid. United should have high standards. But those standards need to be balanced with realistic expectations. After watching the Sunderland match, I'd say most reasonable fans should be encouraged. Not delirious with excitement, but encouraged. They should see the green shoots of progress. They should recognize that things are moving in the right direction. Social media reactions. In today's world, social media plays a huge role in football discourse. After every match, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit are flooded with opinions. Some thoughtful, some emotional, some downright ridiculous. After the Sunderland match, the general consensus on social media seemed positive. Fans were praising Lammens. They were noting Sesko's improvement. They were backing Amorim. Of course, there were critics too, because there always are. But the overall mood was more positive than negative. This matters because fan sentiment can affect the team. When fans are behind the players and manager, it creates a better atmosphere at matches. Players feel more confident. The pressure eases slightly. Everything becomes a bit easier, the match-going experience. For fans who were actually at Old Trafford for the Sunderland match, it must have been an enjoyable experience. There's nothing quite like being in the stadium, feeling the atmosphere, being part of something bigger than yourself. When Lammens made those saves, the roar of the crowd would have lifted the entire team. When Sesko made those runs, the fans would have appreciated the effort even if it didn't result in a goal. This connection between players and fans is what makes football special. If you've never been to Old Trafford, I highly recommend it. Watching on TV is great, but being there in person is a completely different experience. The size of the stadium, the history in the walls, the passion of 75,000 fans singing together, it's magical. What fans want to see. If you ask United fans what they want, most will give you similar answers. They want to see their team play with passion and pride. They want to see effort and commitment. They want to see attractive, attacking football. And yes, they want to see results. The Sunderland match ticked many of those boxes. United played with intensity. They created chances. They defended when they needed to. They showed character and determination. These are the things fans appreciate. Moving forward, if United can continue delivering performances like this, the fan base will stay on side. There will be ups and downs, of course. Not every match will go perfectly. But as long as the team keeps showing the right attitude and the right direction of travel, fans will be patient. The next generation of fans. Something worth thinking about is the next generation of United fans. Kids who are growing up watching this team right now. They don't remember the glory days under Ferguson. They don't have those memories of winning title after title. For these young fans, players like Lammens and Sesko could become heroes. Amorim could become the manager they grow up loving. This rebuilding phase could become the golden era they look back on fondly. So while us older fans might be impatient for success, let's remember that we're also creating memories for a new generation. Every match matters. Every performance shapes how these young fans view their club. Unity is strength. One thing that's absolutely crucial is unity. Unity between the board and the manager. Unity between the manager and the players. Unity between the players and the fans. When everyone pulls in the same direction, great things can happen. The Sunderland match felt like a moment of unity. Everyone seemed aligned. The manager had a plan, the players executed it, and the fans supported it. That's the recipe for success. Moving forward, maintaining that unity will be key. There will be setbacks. There will be bad results. There will be moments of doubt. But if everyone stays united, believes in the process, and keeps working hard, United can achieve their goals. Part 6. Looking forward. The road ahead. So where does United go from here? What comes next in this journey? The immediate focus has to be on consistency. One good performance is nice, but it means nothing if you follow it up with a bad one. United need to build on the Sunderland match. They need to maintain that level of performance week after week. The next few fixtures will be crucial. Every game is a chance to gain points, build confidence, and climb the table. Amorim needs to keep his players focused and motivated. There's no room for complacency. Key areas for improvement. While the Sunderland match was positive, there are still areas where United need to improve. Finishing is one. United are creating chances but not always converting them. This needs to work on. Practice finishing in training. Work on composure in front of goal. Study patterns of play that lead to high percentage chances. Dealing with pressure is another. When teams press United high, there have been moments of panic. The team needs to get better at playing through pressure, staying calm, and finding solutions even when the opposition makes it difficult. Injury management will be important. Football is physically demanding, and injuries are inevitable. United need to have good medical staff, proper recovery protocols, and squad depth to cope when key players are unavailable. The transfer window. At some point, there will be another transfer window. United might look to strengthen the squad. But who should they target? Based on what we saw against Sunderland,